name is Emily McCallen. I am a PhD student here at Purdue University in the Department of Forestry and Natural Resources. And today I'm going to talk to you about a project I will be working on to introduce geospatial technologies to Indiana's high school students. So before I get too far into this talk, I wanted to just explain what geospatial technologies are and why I have a personal interest in geospatial technologies. So geospatial technologies are technologies used for gathering, storing, processing, and delivering spatially referenced information. One of the most common geospatial technologies we think are GPS units, which are units that are used to gather and store coordinate information about where you are in space right now. Another common geospatial technology is geographic information system software, which is used to then process and analyze some of that data that's collected on GPS units. So I have a personal interest in geospatial technology. I have an ecology background, but I minored in geographic information sciences as an undergraduate at Eastern Illinois University. And while I was there, I used GIS to examine the relationship between land use patterns and abundance of Japanese beetles in soybean fields. And I also did my master's research at Eastern Illinois University, where I used geospatial technologies to develop a species distribution model of river otters on the Savannah River site. Now I'm here at Purdue working on my doctorate, and I will be using geospatial technologies to develop ecological niche models of hellbenders at multiple spatial scales. So I use geospatial technologies on a daily basis. I think geospatial technologies are really important in the field of science and the field of ecology in particular. It's really allowed us to look at ecological issues on a more landscape level scale, that something we really weren't able to do before these technologies were available. And they're also very important economically. So in 2012, the US geospatial industry generated $73 billion, and historically that has grown 25 to 30% each year. And even though this is a very important industry, many students are never introduced to geospatial technologies during their K through 12 education, even though these technologies can be really useful for establishing proficient and advanced geography skills. And these skills are something that's currently lacking in America's high school students. So despite it standing as a core academic subject, only 20% of 12th graders tested at the proficient level and only 1% tested at the advanced level. And this lack is even nationally recognized by legislators. There's currently a bill in congressional committee called the Teaching Geography as Fundamental Act, which is set out to sort of address these concerns with the lack of geography skills in secondary students. And one way I want to try to bridge this gap is by this project. So the objective of this project is to introduce these geospatial technologies into high school science classrooms in Indiana, and we're going to do that through curriculum development and through the development of a workshop for high school teachers. So with the curriculum development, we would like to develop a lesson plan for high school teachers. And in it, students will design studies utilizing geospatial technologies to explore ecological issues. And we'll sort of pilot test and tweak this as necessary, and then eventually move into the workshop stage of development, where we'll develop a workshop for teachers who are interested in teaching this curriculum. So for inputs, we're going to need partners. So we need Indiana high school science teachers who will be interested in using this program, and Indiana high school students who will help us develop this curriculum. And I'm sort of lucky in that regard because I'm actually married to an Indiana high school science teacher. So we're going to work together with his classroom to develop this curriculum. And we'll also need Purdue graduate students and faculty who will help us develop the curriculum as well as run the workshops. Obviously, this is a very technologically heavy field, so we're going to need the technology, the GPS units, the GIS software, computers to run them on, as well as technological expertise to keep everything running smoothly. We're also going to need a venue for the workshop and the time to really develop and fill out these curriculum and workshop activities. So for outputs, what we hope to get out of it is this curriculum. So basically a two weeks worth of lesson plans available as a PDF that you can get online. And we want to develop these probably as 4 independent lessons so that teachers can sort of pick and choose which ones they're doing. They can decide whether they want to devote a full 2 weeks to this or if they want to just use them as independent lessons. And we're going to aim for these to meet 3 core standards for World Geography or Biology 1 for Indiana, and that way teachers can sort of flawlessly work this into their curriculum and not have to worry about whether or not they're meeting the core standards by teaching this. And then we want to develop the workshop, an annual workshop for high school teachers, so that they can really build comfort and confidence with these technologies before they go and try to implement the teaching of them in their classrooms. And since that's going to be really input heavy, we're going to cap that at 10 participants. And I think the workshop stage is a really important part of this program because they've done surveys with teachers about implementing geospatial technologies in their classrooms, and they found that a full 63% who participate in professional development go on to implement it in their classrooms, and 86% of teachers agreed or strongly agreed that this training is necessary, that it's really important to go in there with this training so that they know what they're doing in their classroom. And we are going to go ahead and directly teach the curriculum material in the workshop and walk teachers through the curriculum because that's already how teachers are using this professional development. A full 62% of teachers who taught this in their classroom just use training materials from the professional development. So we'll just teach the curriculum and make sure that teachers are comfortable with that, and that way they can seamlessly bring it into the classroom. What we hope to get out of this is outcomes on multiple levels. So knowledge-wise, we're really hoping that teachers and students understand what geospatial data is, how it's gathered, how it can be used, and also why it's important and why it's valuable. Actions, we're hoping that students and teachers might become interested enough in these geospatial technologies that they start to use them outside of the classroom. Maybe they'll want to participate in some kind of activity like geocaching. And as students go on to the college level, that they seek out classes that really teach about these geospatial technologies and figure out how they can further work them into their professional development. And finally, overall, the big goal is to improve geography skills in Indiana's high school students. And there's a few ways we can tell whether or not we're doing this. So for the knowledge and action goals, we can look at pre and post activity assessments. So with both the teachers and the students when they participate in the curriculum and the workshop, just ask them whether or not their feelings, their knowledge has changed about geospatial technologies and whether or not they're more likely to participate in those activities. And then for the conditions, we can look at the National Assessment of Educational Progress in Geography and compare schools that participated in the curriculum versus schools that did not, and whether or not there is a significant change in the outcome of those tests. For external factors that we have to think about, one of the biggest ones you might think of is funding. So these technologies cost money, and that can be a hurdle in public schools. But a national survey looking at the implementation of geospatial technologies in a classroom environment found that funding was actually cited much less frequently than other concerns. So even though we think that this might be a hurdle, teachers are more worried about other things, and their main concern is taking the time to develop these lessons. So by having the curriculum available, we're already addressing teachers' main concerns. Also, time in their classroom, time is a valuable thing, but we're hoping by dividing the curriculum up into independent lessons that teachers can sort of pick and choose which lessons they want to use. And if they don't want to devote a full 2 weeks to this in their classroom, they can spend a shorter amount of time, but still be involving these technologies within their classroom. And finally, necessity. So as we said, part of the hurdle is getting people to understand that these technologies are important. But we hope to start slow and local, and that hopefully as teachers start to implement these curriculum in their classrooms, if they enjoy them, word will spread and more teachers will want to use them.